Hello, everyone. Welcome to the VUS Learning English podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. This is a place for you to listen, learn, and practice English in a fun way. We are so happy you are part of our community. Please like this video, share it with friends, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us grow and bring you more stories. All right, let's get started with today's story. I want to tell you a story. It is a story about me and my journey with the English language. For 7 years, I tried to learn English. 7 years is a very long time. It is 1 year, then 2 years, then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 years. For all of that time, I had a very hard time with English. I studied hard. I learned many words, I learned many grammar rules, but when I needed to speak, it was very difficult. Let me give you an example. A simple, everyday example. I wanted to buy a cup of coffee, that is all. Just 1 cup of coffee. I would walk to the coffee shop. Before I opened the door, I would stop. I would practice the words in my head. I would rehearse the sentence in my mind over and over again. I would think, okay, I need to say, hello, can I have 1 coffee, please? I would say it silently to myself. Hello, can I have 1 coffee, please? I was nervous. My heart was beating fast. I was afraid of making a mistake. Then I would open the door, walk to the counter, and it was my turn to speak. I would open my mouth to say the words I practiced. And what happened? Nothing. My brain stopped working. It was a mental gridlock. It was like a big traffic jam in my head. The words were there somewhere, but they could not come out. It was a terrible feeling. I felt stupid. I felt frustrated. All that practice for nothing. I tried everything to get better. I really did. I tried the whole buffet of learning methods. A buffet is a meal with many, many different types of food. You can try a little of everything. I did that with English learning. For example, I tried grammar apps on my phone. An app is a program you can download. I used the app every day. It gave me exercises and tests. It told me about verbs and nouns and sentence structure. I did the exercises, but it did not help me speak. I still felt stuck. I also tried flashcards. Flashcards are small pieces of paper. On one side, you write a word in your own language. On the other side, you write the word in English. I made hundreds of these cards. I carried them with me. I looked at them on the bus while waiting in line before I went to sleep. I learned many new words. But when I tried to use them in a sentence, my brain would go blank. The words were just single, separate pieces. I didn't know how to put them together quickly. I even tried private tutors. A tutor is a private teacher. I paid money for a teacher to help me one-on-one. We talked. The teacher was patient. The teacher corrected my mistakes. It helped a little, but the problem was still there. I was still translating in my head. I was still building sentences word by word. It was slow and it was hard work. My sentences sounded unnatural. I felt like I was chewing on yesterday's bread. It was dry, tough, and not enjoyable at all. I thought this was my reality forever. I thought I would always be a slow, hesitant English speaker. Then one day, something happened. It was not a special day. It was a normal Tuesday. I was going home from work and I missed my bus. I was annoyed. Now I had to wait for the next one. So I decided to walk through a small park nearby. On the playground in the park, I saw 2 small children. They were about 8 years old. They were arguing. They were bickering about a toy. I stopped and listened. One little boy yelled, "It's my turn, hands off." He said it so fast, so full of emotion. He did not think about the words. He did not check his grammar. He just spoke his feelings. His friend, the other little boy, immediately snapped back, "No way, finders keepers." This was also fast and clear. It meant, I found it, so now it belongs to me. They said a total of 10 words, 10 simple words. But for me, in that moment, it was like a huge light turning on. My brain lit up like Times Square in New York City. I saw all the bright lights. I suddenly understood. These children were not translating. They were not thinking about verb conjugations or prepositions. They were using whole phrases that they had heard before. It's my turn, hands off, no way, finders keepers. These were complete ideas. They were like single blocks. I realized that the trick to stop translating in your head is not to learn another grammar rule. It is not about studying more books. It is something much, much simpler. It is about collecting these blocks of language. If you stick with me in this video, I'm going to explain this idea. The real reason you are stuck in translation mode is about to be flipped on its head. I will show you a better way. Hello again. As I said, I'm an English learner, just like you. I'm not here to sell you a magic product. I'm not here to promise you that you will sound like the Queen of England or a famous movie star. That is not a realistic goal. To be honest, I still make mistakes. I am not a perfect English speaker. For example, when I get nervous or excited, I still sometimes mix up the words ship and sheep. A ship is a very big boat that travels on the ocean. A sheep is a white, fluffy animal that lives on a farm. They sound similar, but they are very different. Sometimes I say, I saw a big sheep in the harbor, and people get confused. It happens. Perfection is not the goal. But I want to tell you what has changed for me. Today, English is a part of my daily life. I argue with Siri on my phone in English. Siri is the voice assistant on the iPhone. I'll say, Siri, what's the weather like today? And Siri will answer me in English. Sometimes Siri misunderstands me and I have to repeat myself. So I have small arguments with Siri in English. The amazing part is that I now dream in English. When I am asleep at night, the people in my dreams are speaking English. My mind is using English automatically, even when I am not awake. This is a huge change from the person who could not order a coffee. So, how did this change happen? The big shift began when I changed my perspective. I stopped treating English like a jigsaw puzzle. Think about a jigsaw puzzle. It has 1,000 tiny different pieces. You have to find the exact right place for every single piece. It is slow, difficult work. If one piece is in the wrong place, the whole picture is broken. That is how I used to see English. I thought I had to learn thousands of words and thousands of grammar rules and put them all together perfectly. It was impossible. Then I started treating English like a box of Lego pieces. Lego bricks are wonderful. They are simple blocks. You can take a red brick and a blue brick and snap them together. It is easy. You do not need an instruction manual to do it. The pieces just fit. And with these simple blocks, you can build anything you want. You can build a small house or a big castle. You started with small, simple pieces that snap together easily. In English, these Lego pieces are chunks. They are groups of words that naturally go together. I'm on my way. That makes sense. Long time no see. These are chunks. When I started to focus on learning these chunks instead of single words, everything changed. If you have ever had the experience of knowing all the right words, But when the important moment comes, you open your mouth and your mind is completely blank. Then you are in the right place. I know that feeling very well. I have been there many times. In this video, we are going to fix that problem. I promise to explain everything in a simple way. There will be no jargon, which means no complicated technical terms. And there will be no fluff, which means no useless information. We will focus only on what works. Let's start. Section 1. Why translating slows you down. Let's talk about the main problem. The problem is translating. Why does translating in your head slow you down so much? I want you to imagine something. Imagine your brain is a small road. It is a one-lane toll bridge. On a toll bridge, every car has to stop and pay money. On this bridge in your brain, every car is a thought. Your thought starts in your first language. Let's say your first language is Japanese. You have a thought in Japanese. That thought is a Japanese car. The Japanese car drives up to the toll bridge in your brain, but it cannot cross yet. First, it has to stop. At the toll booth, it has to completely change. It has to swap its driver for an English-speaking driver. It has to get new English license plates. It has to change its color to look like an English car. Only after all of these changes can the car finally roll through the bridge. This process is translation. Think about how slow that is. Stop, change driver, change plates, change color, then finally go. Every single thought has to do this. That is why you pause. That is why you hesitate. That is translation traffic. Now, let's think about native English speakers. How do their brains work? Their brains are not a one-lane toll bridge. Their brains are an 8-lane freeway. On a freeway, the cars are moving very, very fast. They do not stop. They just go. They are cruising. Why is it so fast for them? What is their secret? Their secret is not that they have bigger vocabularies than you. Many learners know thousands of words. The secret is the kind of cars they are driving on their freeway. They are not driving small cars that represent single words. They are driving prefabricated stretch limos. A limo is a very long, fancy car. These limos are already built. They are ready to go. In our example, these limos are chunks. They are whole phrases with the right words in the right order, with the right grammar, and even with the right intonation, which is the music of the language. Everything is included. So, when a native speaker wants to express an idea like, I haven't seen you for a long time, they don't think, I, then have not, then seen, then you, and so on. No. They have a ready-made limo in their brain that is the chunk. Long time no see. It is one unit. They just put that whole limo on the freeway and it goes. Fast, smooth, effortless. Once I truly understood this idea, my entire approach to learning English flipped. My goal changed completely. My old goal was, I need to learn 500 new words this month. This goal made me focus on single small pieces. It was slow. My new goal became, I need to collect 20 rock-solid chunks that I can use without thinking. Rock-solid means strong and reliable. These are chunks that I can fire off like shooting a bullet from a gun without any hesitation. This new approach was a game changer. Speaking became faster, it became smoother. It was done. I was no longer building a car piece by piece at the toll bridge. I was simply choosing a ready-made limo and sending it down the freeway. This is the first and most important step, to understand that you need to stop collecting words and start collecting chunks. Section 2, the method in 3 simple steps. Okay, So you understand that you need to collect chunks. But how do you do it? How do you make these chunks a part of your brain? I will give you a simple method. It has only 3 steps. Please listen carefully. These 3 steps can change everything for you. Step 1. Collect daily chunks like souvenirs. The first step is to start collecting. You need to become a chunk hunter. A souvenir is something you collect on a trip to remember your vacation. You should collect English chunks like they are precious souvenirs of your daily life. Your job is to listen. Listen to the English around you. You can hear it in movies and songs, on YouTube and podcasts. Maybe you have an English-speaking colleague at work. Maybe you hear tourists on the street. English is everywhere. When you hear something that sounds catchy or interesting or useful, your job is to catch it. Let's say you hear a phrase. The important thing is, do not dissect the grammar. To dissect something means to cut it up into small pieces to study it. Do not do that. Do not ask, why is this word here? What is the tense of this verb? No. Your job is to steal the whole line, just as you heard it. I'll give you a real example from my life. Just yesterday, I was talking to my neighbor. We had plans to have lunch together, but she was in a hurry. She looked at her watch and said to me, I'm running late. Can we rain check lunch? I had heard the phrase rain check before, but I wasn't very comfortable with it. When she said it, it was so natural. I immediately knew what my job was. I took out my phone, I opened my notes app, and I wrote it down. But I did not just write the words. This is a very important detail. I wrote down the context. Context means the situation. So I typed this. Rain check neighbor. Said it. She was in a rushed tone used for rescheduling plans. Do you see what I did? I collected the chunk rain check. I noted the situation my neighbor said it. I noted the emotion she had a rushed tone. And I noted the purpose used for rescheduling plans. The situation plus the emotion is the glue. It is what makes the chunk stick in your memory. It connects the words to a real-life feeling and a real-life event. Your goal should be to collect 3 new chunks every day. Just 3. Not 20. Not 50. That is too much. 3 is a perfect number. It is small and achievable. If you collect 3 chunks a day, that is 90 chunks in a month. That is a huge number of new limos for your brain's freeway. So, step 1, listen like a hunter, catch 3 chunks a day, and write them down with the context and the feeling. Step 2, shadow until it sticks. Now you have your list of chunks. What do you do next? You cannot just read them. You have to make them a part of your voice. The best way to do this is a technique called shadowing. What is shadowing? Shadowing is like karaoke, but without the music and the disco ball. With karaoke, you sing along with a famous singer. You try to match their voice and their rhythm. Shadowing is the same idea, but for speaking. You listen to a native speaker, and you speak at the exact same time as them. You are their shadow. Here is how you do it. Find a short audio or video clip. It should be very short. Maybe 15 seconds is enough. You can find clips everywhere. You can use a line from a sitcom on Netflix. You can use a short video from TikTok or a YouTube short. It can be a line from a podcast or an audiobook, anything where a native speaker is talking. Let's use our example from before. I'm running late. Find a clip where someone says this. Now pop on your headphones. This is important because it helps you focus on the sound. Play the 15-second clip. The first time, just listen. Don't speak. Just listen to the melody of the sentence, the intonation. Where does the voice go up? Where does it go down? Now play it again. This time, try to speak along with the speaker. Mumble if you are shy. Just try to match the speed and the rhythm. It will feel strange. You will probably feel ridiculous. You might feel like you are making a fool of yourself. That is a good sign. It means you are doing something new. It means your mouth muscles are stretching and learning a new way to move. It's like exercising a part of your body that you have never used before. It feels awkward at first. Now do it again, and again, and again. The key is repetition. Loop the clip 5 times in a row. Play it, speak with it. Play it, speak with it 5 times. After the 5th time, something magical starts to happen. The phrase, "I'm running late," starts to feel more comfortable in your mouth. It begins to slide off your tongue more easily. Your brain is starting to learn the pattern. The chunk is moving from your head to your mouth. This is a critical step. Do this for your 3 chunks every day, 5 loops for each chunk. Step 3. Slot the chunk into your life. You have collected the chunk. You have shadowed the chunk. Now for the final, most important step. You must use the chunk in a real situation. You must connect it to your actual life. This is what locks the words in place forever. You do not need another person to do this. You can do it by yourself. Let's stay with our chunk. I'm running late. I want you to find a moment in your day where this chunk could be real. For example, tonight, when you are getting ready to leave your house. As you are locking your front door, I want you to say the chunk out loud. Say, "I'm running late. I'll text you when I'm on my way." Say it even if you are not actually late. Say it even if no one is listening. Your brain does not know the difference. What your brain knows is this. You are performing an action locking the door, and you are saying a phrase, "I'm running late," at the same time. You are creating a real-life anchor for the chunk. Do this with your chunks every day. Find a real moment to use them. Let's say you learned the chunk. That makes sense. The next time you watch a video and you understand the idea, pause the video and say out loud, that makes sense. You are connecting the chunk to the feeling of understanding. If you do this every day for just 1 week, you will have 21 mini sentences, 21 chunks. And they will not be random words from a textbook. They will be phrases that are connected to your real, actual life. They will describe your actions, your feelings, and your situations. When this happens, a big change occurs. English stops being homework. It stops being a subject you have to study. It starts to become the background music of your life. It is just there, a natural part of your day. This is the goal. This 3-step method, collect, shadow, and slotties your key to unlocking fluent thought in English. Section 3. The mindset shift nobody talks about. Many English teachers and language experts give this advice. You should force yourself to think in English. They say you should just try harder to make your brain work in English. For me, this advice never worked. It is like telling someone who cannot sleep, just force yourself to fall asleep on command. It is impossible. Trying to force it actually makes you more awake and more stressed. Trying to force yourself to think in English can make you more aware of your own translating, which makes the problem worse. So I propose a different approach, a new mindset. Instead of trying to force English thoughts in, you should focus on crowding the old language out. Imagine your mind is a small room. Your native language fills that room. It is comfortable there. If you try to force it out, it will resist. But what if you just started filling the room with new things, English things? You can start small. You can label your morning routine. A routine is the series of actions you do every single day in the same order. For example, your morning routine is to wake up, go to the bathroom, take a shower, and get dressed. You can narrate this routine with simple English chunks. Tomorrow morning, when you get in the shower, don't just stand there thinking in your native language. Start talking to yourself in English using simple chunks. You turn on the water, you feel it. You can say out loud, the water's hot, then you get the shampoo. You can say, time for shampoo. You wash your hair. You can say, rinse it out. You finish your shower. You can say, all done. These are very simple chunks. Water's hot. Shampoo. Rinse. Done. But what you are doing is very powerful. You are filling the space of your morning routine with English. You are giving your brain a ready-made English chunk for each action. If every thought and action already has an English chunk waiting for it, there is simply no room left for your native language to squeeze in. It gets crowded out naturally and without force. You are not aiming for perfection. You are not trying to have a deep philosophical monologue in English in the shower. You are just racing the toaster. You are trying to say the chunk making toast now before your brain has a chance to think about it in Spanish or French or Japanese. This is a race you can win. It is about making English the easy option, the quick option. When your brain sees that there is a fast, ready-made chunk available for an idea, it will take it. Your brain is efficient. It likes to save energy. Translating is hard work and uses a lot of energy. Using a ready-made chunk is easy and saves energy. If you provide your brain with enough easy chunks, it will naturally start to prefer them. This is the mindset shift. Don't force. Just fill the space. Crowd out the old language with easy, useful new chunks. Section 4, the immersion cheat code. Many people say that to learn English, you need immersion. Immersion means being completely surrounded by the language. They say you must move to an English-speaking country. You need to buy a plane ticket to London or New York or Sydney. For most people, this is not possible. It costs a lot of money. It is a very big life change. But I am here to tell you that plane tickets are optional. You can create a powerful immersion environment right where you are. You can build an English bubble around yourself. A bubble is a sphere of air. Imagine you are living inside your own personal English bubble. Here is how you can build it. This is the immersion cheat code. A cheat code is a secret trick to win a game more easily. First, switch your phone to English. This is the easiest and most powerful thing you can do. Your phone is probably the object you look at most every day. Think about it. Every menu, every notification, every button will be in English. Settings. New message. Call. Missed call. At first, it might feel a little strange, but after a few days, you will get used to it. You will learn all of this practical, modern vocabulary without even trying. To do this, just go into your phone's settings menu. Find the section for language region and select English. It takes 30 seconds. Second, choose one of your hobbies or interests and engage with it only in English. Do you like cooking? Great. Unfollow all the cooking accounts on Instagram or TikTok that are in your native language. Now, go and follow 1 or 2 new accounts that post recipes and cooking videos only in English. Do you like football? Great. Find a YouTube channel that analyzes football matches in English. Do you like animals? Follow an account that posts cute cat videos with English captions. By doing this, you are connecting English to something you already love. Learning will not feel like work. It will feel like fun. You are getting your daily dose of English while enjoying your hobby. Third, and this is very important, pick one small daily ritual and narrate it out loud in English every single time. A ritual is a small action you do every day. It could be brushing your teeth. It could be feeding your cat. It could be making your morning coffee. Pick one. Let's say you choose brushing your teeth. Every morning and every night when you brush your teeth, you must describe what you're doing out loud. Use the same simple phrases every single day. For example, okay, time to brush my teeth. I'm putting toothpaste on the brush. Now I'm brushing my top teeth. Now my bottom teeth. 2 minutes is up. Time to rinse. All done. It might seem silly, but what you are doing is incredibly powerful. You are doing the same action and using the same phrases twice a day, every day. This is repetition. And the brain loves repetition much more than it loves intensity. It is much better to do a small 2-minute exercise every single day than to do a big 3-hour study session once a month. The consistency of the daily ritual builds a very strong habit in your brain. So this is your immersion bubble. Your phone is in English. Your hobby is in English. Your daily ritual is narrated in English. You did not have to buy a plane ticket, but you have successfully surrounded yourself with English. You have created an environment where English is normal, present, and useful. This is the cheat code to immersion. Section 5. Glue chunks together. So you have been collecting your chunks. You have been shadowing them. You have been slotting them into your daily life. The single chunks are starting to feel comfortable and easy. You can say, I'm running late, or that makes sense without thinking. Now it is time for the next level. It is time to start building. Remember our Lego analogy? At first, you were just collecting the Lego bricks, the single chunks. Now you are going to start snapping them together. You are going to build bigger things. You are going to build castles. This is much easier than it sounds. You do not need to learn complex grammar rules to do this. You just take the chunks you already know and you glue them together. Let's take a chunk, like I'm running late. Let's take another chunk, like let's keep in touch. Now let's put them together. You could be ending a conversation with a friend. You could say, hey, I'm running late, but let's keep in touch. You have just created a more complex, more interesting sentence by simply combining 2 simple chunks. Let's try to make it even bigger. Let's add a third chunk. Maybe you know the chunk, grab coffee next week. Now you can say, I'm running late, let's keep in touch, and maybe grab coffee next week. Look at that sentence. It is long and it sounds very natural. But you did not build it word by word. You built it block by block. Chunk 1. I'm running late. Chunk 2. Let's keep in touch. Chunk 3. Grab coffee next week. You just glued them together with simple connecting words like but and. The beautiful part of this method is that the grammar almost sorts itself out. Why Because each chunk that you collected is already grammatically correct. Each chunk is like a guest who arrived at a party already wearing the right clothes. I'm running late is already dressed perfectly. Let's keep in touch is also dressed perfectly. You don't have to worry about their clothes, their grammar. You just have to introduce them to each other. Let's try another example. You have learned the chunk. That makes sense. You have also learned the chunk, I'll get back to you. You can combine them. Your boss explains a new project to you. You can say, okay, that makes sense. I have a few questions, but I'll get back to you this afternoon. Again, two perfect chunks connected together to make a longer, more detailed response. This is how you start to sound more fluent. Fluent speakers do not use more complicated grammar. They are just very good at combining these prefabricated chunks in new and interesting ways. So your next task is to look at your list of chunks and start playing with them. How can you connect them? Try making 2-chunk sentences. Then try making 3-chunk sentences. It's like playing with Legos. There are no mistakes, only new creations. Section 6. My favorite 20 starter chunks. To help you get started, I want to give you a gift. I'm going to share my list of 20 essential starter chunks. These are high-frequency phrases that you can use in many different situations. They are practical and useful. Your task is to learn these. Use the 3-step method we discussed. Collect them, shadow them, and slot them into your life. I want you to say each one of these chunks out loud 5 times today. Then, try to use at least 3 of them in a real or imagined situation before you go to bed tonight. This will tell your brain that these chunks are important. Your brain will notice, and it will reward you with better recall. Here's the list. I will explain each one a little. How's it going? This is a casual, friendly way to say, how are you? You can use it with anyone you know. For example, when you see a coworker in the morning, you can smile and say, hey, how's it going? Long time no see. You use this when you see someone who you have not seen for a long time, weeks, months, or years. Imagine you run into an old friend at the grocery store. You can say, wow, Maria, long time no see. How have you been? I'm on my way. This means you have left your starting location and you are now traveling to your destination. If a friend texts you and asks, where are you? You can text back, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 10 minutes. That makes sense. You say this to show that you understand something. When someone explains something to you and you understand their logic, you can nod and say, okay, that makes sense now. Thank you. I'll get back to you. This is a professional and polite way to say that you cannot give an answer right now, but you will give an answer later. If your boss asks you a question and you need to check some information first, you can say, that's a good question. I'm not sure right now, but I'll get back to you by the end of the day. Let's keep in touch. You say this at the end of a conversation when you want to maintain a relationship with the person. After a good conversation with a former colleague, you can say, it was great to see you. Let's keep in touch. I lost track of time. This is an excuse you use when you are late because you were busy or distracted and didn't notice the time. If you arrive late for a coffee with a friend, you can say, I'm so sorry I'm late. I was reading a good book and I completely lost track of time. Count me in. This means, yes, I want to join, or include me in this activity. If your friends are planning to go to the movies and they ask if you want to come, you can say, "A movie sounds great. Count me in." That's not the point. You use this when someone is focusing on a small, unimportant detail and ignoring the main idea of the conversation. If you are complaining that a movie was boring and your friend talks about the price of the popcorn, you can say, "That's not the point. The point is that the story was terrible. I'll pass this time." This is a polite way to say no to an offer or invitation. If your colleagues are ordering pizza for lunch, but you brought your own food, you can say, "Thanks for the offer, but I'll pass this time." Can't complain. This is a common and positive answer to the question, "How are you?" or "How's it going?" It means that your life is good. There is nothing bad to complain about. Friend, how's it going? You can't complain. Life is good. Tell me about it. This is a phrase that shows you strongly agree with what someone has just said because you have had the same negative experience. If your friend says, "Wow, the traffic was terrible this morning," you can say, "Ugh, tell me about it. It took me an hour to get here." Take your time. You say this to let someone know that they do not need to hurry. If a friend is writing you an email and they apologize for being slow, you can say, "No problem, take your time." I couldn't agree more. This is a very strong way to say, "I completely agree with you." If someone says, "This is the best coffee I've ever had," and you think so too, you can say, "I couldn't agree more. It's delicious." We'll wing it. This means you will do something without any preparation or plan. You will improvise. If you have to give a small presentation but you didn't have time to prepare, you can say to a coworker, "I don't have any notes. I'm just going to have to wing it." Let's call it a day. This means let's stop working for today. You usually say this at the end of a long day of work or study. At 5 p.m., your manager might say to the team, "Okay, team, we made a lot of progress. Let's call it a day." Fingers crossed. This is an expression you use when you are hoping for good luck. You often say it while physically crossing your index and middle fingers. Before a job interview, your friend might say to you, "I hope you get the job." You can reply, "Thanks, fingers crossed." I messed up. This is a simple, informal way to say, "I made a mistake." It is a good way to take responsibility. If you forgot to send an important email, you can go to your boss and say, I'm sorry, I messed up. I forgot to send the email, but I am sending it right now." Better late than never. This is a phrase you use when something happens later than you wanted, but you are still happy that it happened. If your friend forgot your birthday, but they call you the next day to apologize, you can say, "Don't worry about it. Better late than never." She'll catch up with you later. This is a casual way to say, "Goodbye. I will talk to you again soon." As you are leaving a group of friends, you can wave and say, "Okay, I have to go now. I'll catch up with you later." There they are. 20 powerful chunks. Start using them today. Section 7. Why this works, the quick neuroscience version. I have told you that this method works, but I want to briefly explain why it works from a scientific perspective. I will give you the quick, simple neuroscience version. Neuroscience is the study of the brain. Think about your brain's short-term memory. This is the part of your brain that you use when you are actively thinking about something. It is like the RAM in a computer. Scientists have found that our short-term memory is very limited. It can only hold about 4 to 7 items at one time. That is a very small number. Now imagine you're trying to build a sentence in English using translation. You are feeding your brain single words. Let's say you want to say, I think that this is a good idea. You think of the word I 1 item, then think 2 items, then that 3 items, then this 4 items, then is 5 items, then A 6 items, then good 7 items. Your short-term memory is now completely full. It is at its maximum capacity, and you haven't even gotten to the word idea yet. Your brain is struggling. It's overwhelmed. It's game over. This is why speaking feels so hard and slow. Now, let's see what happens when you use chunks. You have learned the chunk. I think that's a good idea. This entire phrase acts as one single item in your brain. It is pre-packed. It is 1 limo, not 7 small cars. So when you feed this chunk to your short-term memory, it only takes up 1 slot out of the 7 available. Just 1. Now your short-term memory has 6 more empty slots. You can think about what you want to say next. You can listen to the other person. You have so much more mental space. You have effectively doubled or tripled your brain's processing speed for speaking English. The fancy term for this in psychology and neuroscience is, you guessed it, chunking. Chunking is the process of taking individual pieces of information and grouping them into larger units. By learning phrases instead of words, you are using your brain's natural ability to chunk information. The payoff is huge. You speak faster. You recall information faster. You can build more complex sentences. And the best part of all is that you will finally stop translating. You will just think the idea and the chunk will be there, ready for you to use. Section 8, the 24-hour challenge. Are you feeling brave? Do you want to try something that will accelerate your progress? Then I invite you to take the 24-hour challenge. It is simple, but it is not easy. Here's the challenge. Pick 1 routine in your day. Just 1. It could be your commute to work, the time you spend walking your dog, or the process of brewing your coffee in the morning. For the next 24 hours, every time you do this routine, you must narrate it. You must describe everything you are doing, thinking, and seeing, using only English chunks. This is the important rule. No native language detours are allowed. You cannot switch back to your first language, even in your head. For that one specific routine, your brain must operate only in English. Let's say you choose your subway ride to work. The challenge begins. You walk to the station. You can say to yourself, okay, I'm walking to the station. It's a beautiful day. I'm going down the stairs. I'm buying a ticket. Now I'm waiting for the train. The train arrives. Here's the train. I'm getting on. I found a seat. You look around. That person is reading a book. This person is listening to music. For the first 5 or 10 minutes, this will be okay. But then something will happen. Your brain will get tired. You will have a thought that you don't have a chunk for. A mental itch will begin. An itch is that feeling on your skin that you really want to scratch. This mental itch will be a strong desire to switch back to your native language just for 1 second. The voice in your head will say, this is too hard. Just think it in Spanish. It's faster. Your job is to ignore that voice. The mental itch will scream for about 20 minutes. It will be uncomfortable, but you must resist. If you don't know the chunk for something, just describe it simply, or just move on to the next thought. The goal is to stay in English mode. If you can push through that period of discomfort, something amazing will happen. Your brain will surrender. It will say, okay, fine, English it is. It will start to look for English chunks more actively. It will start to make new connections. After you complete the challenge for that one routine, you can relax, but the effect will last. The next morning, you might wake up and find that you are already thinking of the chunks you will use for your routine before your alarm clock even buzzes. You have started to rewire your brain. You have shown it a new way to operate. This challenge is a powerful way to jumpstart the process of thinking directly in English. Section 9, bonus habit, the 2-minute swap. Life is busy. I know, it can be hard to find time to study, so I want to give you one more bonus habit. This one is very small and very easy to do. I call it the 2-minute swap. Think about how many times a day you unlock your phone. 10 times? 50 times? 100 times? What do you usually do right after you unlock it? You probably open social media or check your email or read the news. This is often called doom scrolling, where you just scroll through endless information without any real purpose. The 2-minute swap is a new habit. Every time you unlock your phone with the intention of doom scrolling, you are going to swap that activity for a 2-minute English win. A win is a small success. Here is what you do. Instead of opening Instagram, open your Notes app where you are collecting your chunks. Look at your list, pick one chunk, maybe a new one you just collected. Now say it out loud, just once. Feel how it sounds in your mouth. That's it. That is the entire habit. It takes less than 2 minutes. Let's say you do this just 4 times a day, once in the morning, once at lunchtime, once in the afternoon, and once in the evening. 4 times. Each time you swap 2 minutes of mindless scrolling for 1 moment of focused English practice. What is the result? At the end of the day, you will have practiced 4 different chunks. At the end of the week, that's nearly 30 fresh chunks that you have reviewed. And you will have spoken them out loud. In a single month, you will have practiced over 100 chunks multiple times. This is the power of consistency. Consistency always beats cramming. Cramming is when you study very hard for many hours right before a test. You might remember the information for the test, but you will forget it a week later. Small, consistent habits are what create long-term, permanent learning. This 2-minute swap is a perfect example of a small habit that can produce huge results over time. Replace a bad habit, doom scrolling, with a good habit, the 2-minute chunk review. Okay, I have given you the method. I have given you the mindset, the cheat codes, and the starter chunks. But learning a language can be a lonely journey. So let's build this community together. I want you to take the first step right now. Drop a comment below this video. In the comment, I want you to write the first phrase from the starter chunk list that you are going to use today. Maybe it's, how's it going? Or that makes sense. Just pick one and write it in the comments. This is your commitment. This is you taking action. I promise you that I read every single comment. And as a thank you for your commitment, I will try my best to hit you back with a tiny personalized challenge for that chunk to help you use it. And if you found this method helpful and you want more practical habits that can help you turn English into your autopilot language, then please hit the subscribe button. It tells me that you want more content like this. You have the bricks now, you have the Lego pieces, you have the chunks. The only thing left to do is to start building. So go build your house. So, what is the real secret to thinking in English? It is time to forget about finding the one perfect magic app or the one secret grammar book. That does not exist. The real secret is this: you must consistently feed your brain useful, relevant chunks of language until thinking in English becomes the easiest and most natural road for your thoughts to take. That is it. Your journey starts today with one small step. Grab 3 new chunks today from a movie, a song, or a conversation you hear. Shadow them until they feel as natural as breathing. And then find a moment in your real life to slot them in. If you do this, I promise you something will change. 6 weeks from now, you will look back and you might not even remember what it felt like to translate all the time. You will just open your mouth and, to your surprise, natural English will fall out. Thank you for your time. I will see you in the comments.